Good afternoon. It's now Saturday the 9th of July, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and here I am at my next venue. Big lake in the south of France. Got down here yesterday at about 7 o'clock in the evening. Spent 3 hours until dark driving around the lake, just sussing out areas, and then bedded down for the night, and then woke up this morning at about 7:30 and got out in the boat in the engine, and I think I was probably out there for about 3 hours. It's just sort of like, wasn't massively happy with what I got in front of me, and this is a very convenient spot. You're fishing at mega range. You find the depth of water probably around 10 foot, and I'm not quite sure how far out it is at the minute. I shall soon know when I put the first rod out whether I use the first 500 yards of braid or not, and get back to the 500 yards of backing, how far it is, but I've got a feeling it's probably about 500 yards, and you hit about 10 foot, it goes just that dark colour, and then you come to thick Canadian pondweed, and there's nothing out beyond it. And you know, after that, to be fair, you get out, I reckon, about 750 yards, and it's about 13 foot, so the depth gradient is very, very minimal, and it's just solid with Canadian pondweed. It's probably 4 feet deep of Canadian pondweed now. So yeah, and it's like it all the way along. I motored the whole length of the night zone, zigzagging about, say, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and to be fair, what I found in front of me was as good as anything else. I thought, why not? I'm in the back of the van. I'm sure this is a little bit more of a popular area, because you can just fish out the back of the vehicle. But I thought, give it a go. So yeah, so I've gone out there, I've placed 2 markers out there, and it's got good areas of clear spots. You can just about see the glowing sandy bottom in about 10 foot of water, anything from about 8.5 to 11 foot of water, and then you get to the wall of weed. Good enough for me. So yeah, so my attack is, I'm just going to sit on my hands. I'm going to stick an awful lot of bait out there, probably at least 10 kilos of boilies, and at least probably 10 gallons of particles, and just create a nice long line, and just place 4 rods along it with different baits. Just sit on my hands and see what happens, and that's it really. Give it 3-4 nights, 5 nights maybe, and just take it from there. Right, Saturday the 9th of July, about 11:30. Didn't take me very long to get something, but unfortunately it's a catfish. So I brought it in just to show you guys. I don't know why. First catfish in 3 years. Not a big one. Out of my net. So yeah, there we go. 20 pound, I suppose, something like that. So yeah, that was a serious amount of bait I put out there. Yeah, so to get a catfish on it already, I'll do the right thing. Oh well, we'll see, won't we? Sunday the 10th, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A little bit tired, didn't get up very early this morning. The cons of pitching up where everybody else can turn up as well. You know, there's cars coming and going all the time. Obviously it is the weekend, so I did expect it to be a little bit more busier than what it was. So hopefully tomorrow to be a little bit busy, but there was a gang of guys turned up last night, and there's a little rough area, a bit of rough standing, and they all parked up there with the camper vans and the vans and everything, probably about 20 of them, most of which left at about midnight, which is cool. But the few that were left, they were playing this sort of real, I don't know what sort of music it was, not my style, that's for sure. It certainly wasn't from the 90s, that's for sure. Yeah, so I could hear that into the night. It woke me up again at some point. I was pretty tired, and I've got a bit of an upset stomach this morning, not quite sure what that's about, just feeling a bit. So yeah, just forced a bit of some breakfast down me, and lots of water, so hopefully we'll be okay. But yeah, nothing to report from that catfish last night. Pretty surreal really, isn't it, that I put out probably, well, I probably put out about close to 10 kilos of boilies, maybe more, and definitely 20 kilos of particles, I would say. Concentrated on the areas around the rods, but linked up between the two pairs of rods, and to get a catfish within literally, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, after about 4 hours after baiting it up. It just goes to show, you put a lot of bait out there, but you get a few fish come in, and you know, you've got full baits out there, and you get a pickup like that. It just goes to show that, you know, if there was carp there, it would have been just as easy to have got a pickup. And you know, I was quite willing to sit on my hands for sort of like you know, the next 3 days, maybe top it up a little bit. Maybe tomorrow night. I won't do anything today. I'm just going to sit on my hands and leave it. I might go out and check 1 or 2 of the rods when the wind drops down this evening, because it makes it a little bit difficult if you only want to bring in 1 or 2, just to check the rigs and just pop them back out there really. Just make sure they've not been crayed. I've seen some big crayfish in the margins, and I've had a few bleeps and knocks. The other interesting thing is, I heard this from another guy that does YouTube about using really heavy leads, in the fact that I'm using, I think I have about 9 ounce leads. They were 8 ounce, but I ground out the middle, so they were solid, so they're probably close to 10 ounce leads. And I could have a 3 pound bream sat on the end there and not know anything about it. Obviously I'm fishing out there about 500 yards, so I've got to, you know, you see the bows in the lines at the minute, you know, I've got one sort of facing out to the left and the line's facing that way, so you know, you've got to use the heavy weights. So I've got to go out and check a couple of them later on this evening. It's no big deal, allowed to use my outboard, so it's not like I'm running low on battery power and stuff like that. So it'll be a little bit idle not to go and check them. Might even just check them all. So we'll see. We'll see on that front really. So yeah. But that's all I've really got to report. I think the weather's going to stay pretty much the same as it is now. I'm sure it's touching 30 degrees, probably hotter. I cannot walk on the sand now, it burns my feet. Which amazes me that the water temperature is only 24 degrees. I thought for a big shallow lake like this it might be a little bit warmer this time of year, maybe 26, 27, but it is a big expanse, so maybe not, but still nice to swim in though. So yeah. About 4 o'clock I suppose on a Sunday afternoon, just settling in to watch the tennis on iPlayer, and I had a good steady run to the left hand rod on a double 28mm boilie, and just jumped in. Well, got the boat, started, jumped in, got all the way up to it, kept plucking off the weed on the main line, eventually caught up with it just past my marker, and it felt like a carp. I thought, bloody hell, surely not within 24 hours, surely. Of course it wasn't. The cat about 50 pound. So yeah, there we go. Luckily I've got all my gear in the boat, so just popped on another boilie, couple of boilies and another lead, and dropped it back out there, and you know, come back in, set it up. So that's the beauty about taking all your gear with you. It is worth noting, one of the boilers was actually still on. and it was in great condition. So you know, I know it's going to take a little bit of time for crayfish and that to move in, but it wasn't any sign of scraping on it yet. So I don't know if that's probably not a good thing actually. You want crayfish in there, going to bring a carp in maybe, I don't know. There we go. So a little bit of excitement in the midday sun. Trying to get back in the shade before I get sunburned. So hopefully catch up later with a carp. Yesterday was a tough day. It really was. It's now Monday the 11th of July. Yesterday, you know, we would test, I think, the mettle of, you know, of the toughest person, I think, really. I've just, you know, more catfish after catfish, and when you're out 500 yards, you just don't want them. You know, they're a nightmare. You know, they're clearing up your spots. They're just a pest. So, £50 catfish on the left-hand rod yesterday about 2 o'clock. Unhooked it, just dropped it back straight back. So I say 50, around 50. So unhooked it, straight in the water, popped another lead on, left the same bait out, left the same bait on, 2 big fish meals which were 28, which are probably now 32 millers, big baits. 2 hours later, speedboat comes in a bit too close and picks up the same rod. Luckily it didn't pick up. I don't know how it didn't pick up all 4 for the life of me. I was a lucky boy, and it cut me in half. So I thought I'd wait for a little while, and the wind was blowing from left to right, so I was hoping that the braid from the lead end would drift over the top of the next rod down. Luckily it did. I took the other rod back out, so you can imagine 2 rods with slack lines out in the boat. I'm trying to join up the first one, and meanwhile I'm drifting down, and I've still got the other one out, because you can't wind rods in anyway at that distance. Eventually I managed to get the other one tied off, and which was the big double bait, and go and retrieve the other one, and then reposition them both again. And then I had another catfish through the night on that rod as well, of about 30 pounds. And then I had a sort of an indication of some sort of take, breamy, on the next rod down from it early this morning, which I ignored. And then I had a screaming run on the same left-hand rod again. It's had all the ups and downs to it. Literally half an hour ago, I go out in the boat and get up above it and play it, and it's quite obviously not a catfish. Eventually the fish comes up. It's a carp. It's a lovely carp, and there's another line around it, and it's the second rod down, which has got a catfish on it, and that's gone and swum through all around the line, and oh, it's a nightmare, right mess. So I've managed to land the carp, scoop it in the net, untangle the other one, and pull that up, hand line that up, and that's just a 12-15 pound catfish. Unhook that and let that go and come back in. So I've done it. I can't quite believe it. It is probably my biggest challenge yet. It's a huge lake, and the distance you're fishing are obscene. The weed out there is obscene. Yeah, and the carp and the catfish are a pain in the arse. And I just kept going, and I've got one. I can't quite believe it. I am absolutely over the moon. It's not a huge fish, but it's a real proper warrior of a fish, a real pretty fish. So yeah, in a little while I'm going to finish my tea and go out there and we'll photograph it and video it. So not a bad start for a Monday morning. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Here we go. It's not a monster, but it's a carp from this amazing lake. And it's a real pretty one as well. Just over 23 pounds. But that's a good start. It's an amazing start. Any fish from a lake like this, it's well earned. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's beautiful. Oh, I'll tell you something. I thought I had a bad day yesterday. I had chronic stomach pain all day yesterday, and it turned out I think I had constipation. God, I was in pain, but not to put too much detail in it, a bloody good clear out this morning, and I finally feel better. I'm not in pain anymore. And I've had a nice big fry up this morning. So yeah, just when I'm feeling a little bit better, obviously that lovely carp that I had this morning, had a fry up, just thinking about having a nice bath. I just sat down in my chair to finish off my cup of tea, and look what happened. I get nobbled by that bastard there. Look, luckily I think it was only a warning shot, and he just nailed me on my arm. And it just a quick sting. I don't think he nailed me, but he's not looking very happy. Nailed me very well, but it hurts enough. Look at him, you horrible beast. Yes, first time I've been nobbled by an hornet, and my arm is banging at the minute. Ugh, get away from me. So there we go. Yeah, the trials and tribulations of public lake carp fishing continue. Oh, it really does. Oh my God, how it hurts. I've been a baby. Oh, on that note, I'm going. There we go. Now about 1:15 on a Tuesday evening. Tuesday, I don't know what that is. Tuesday 11th, 12th, I haven't got a clue. And about 10 to 12, had another run. Same rod as I had the mirror this morning. Double 28mm muscle bottom baits again, same spot. Got another cracking fish. It's a very spawned out female, 26-12. Fought like an absolute demon. Did retain it in the sling just for half an hour while I got all my crap together. So here we go. I'm going to try and take some photographs at the same time. Show you guys. There we go. There we go. Good. So yeah, there we go. What a beast. Absolute cracker. Time to get it back. Tuesday the 12th, midday. The saga continues. So, as you saw last night, we had another lovely mirror carp, 26.5 I think, spawned out, scaly female. And then after that, I can't even what time I had it, about 11:30. That was it. Just a barrage of very small catfish. I'm talking very small catfish that, yeah, sort of anything from about 8 to 15 pounds. I can't even remember how many I had. Last one, the clip broke on it. I think that one was a bit bigger actually. That was probably close to 30. So I normally go out and bait up out there, but because the clip had pretty much broken off, there wasn't a lot I could do. So I just brought the rod in. So just left the 3 rods out, but nothing else. So yeah, as you can see, not really a bit of stringing my words together very well. A little bit sleep deprived. It's midday now and it's starting to get hot. By 2 o'clock you're going to be wishing it was 7 o'clock in the evening or later. So yeah, that's it really. You know, nice to catch another carp. You know, it's almost 1 carp every 24 hours. Probably 4 catfish every 24 hours though. So yeah, it makes it difficult. You know, so far today I haven't been bitten, stung, or maimed myself, or trod on anything like that. Everything seems to be going okay. My solar charger's working well. I'm regular, and yeah, life is pretty good. So yeah, you know, can't really complain after that nice fish last night. Yeah, but it is testing, like I say. There's always something to get you out here. You know, over there we've got a canoeist that literally come across in front of my rods about 80 yards out and plicked all the lines as she went through. I was just waiting for her to pick one up. Yeah, when you haven't got that, you've got obviously high-speed boats. There's one over there. That's actually a bass boat. He's out the way, and like the others that use this as a racetrack, about 150 yard out. Literally, they're going over about 3 foot of water. I'm surprised they're not bashing their props up, and obviously, also more importantly, not picking my lines up more regularly. Every time I see one, you can imagine my heart is in my mouth. It really is, you know. So it just adds to the nice relaxing pace of carp fishing in France on public lakes. You know, everything's sort of out to get you. And actually I had a little knock there on that same rod. You know, the water's nice though. See, I had a bit of a excuse me, I had a bit of a knock on this in the night. A bit violent, but I left it because I've been lazy. Okay, it's lovely air curves, beautiful. And yeah. So I did pull this. We're fishing on. You can see the bottom here. Just what we're fishing on out there, but giant clumps of Canadian pondweed. The closer you get right to the thick of it. So I was able to give it a bit of a drag just to double check. Nothing, had just picked it up and just dived into a weed bed, but still getting knocks on it for some reason. Is there carp out there? That'd be nice, but I don't think they this time of day. More chance of catching a catfish. That's nice and quiet at the minute. Maverick isn't about at the minute, which makes a change. The wind's in a little bit of a different direction today, so it's made his flight path a little bit different, because before he was doing test flights straight up and down me here, about 250 yard out, probably about 300 or 400 yard out, rode over the top of my swim. So yeah, so like I say, you got speedboats, you got airplanes, you got canoeists, you got day boats coming out, you got swimmers. You know, you got anything that could possibly cause annoyance to you, you've got it, but you just have to deal with it. It's a lovely place though. It's massively challenging. It really is. You know, it's just purely, I think, for the distance. And if you couldn't do this without a decent motorboat, as I've got there, then the whole experience would be, wow. It would be massively different. You would fish with huge baits, probably not fish particle to avoid the catfish. and void fishy baits, even though I think, you know, they have got the edge over a lot of other baits. Yeah, here we go. It is different. We've got these duck hides here every 200 yards. They do love their hunting in France. Fair play to them, because so do I. And they got the ducks out there already, and they got the cool ducks in the pens you can hear quacking away, and an old goose as well. So obviously this place will be a bit of a no-fly zone for ducks come the autumn. Cicadas singing away. About the only thing that don't cause me problems. That's a lie. Yeah, no, they don't, because they shut up at night. But when they shut up, the frogs start. But they're not too bad here. They just chirp up a little bit on dusk, and then that's it. There's Camp. Uh-oh, is that Maverick I can hear again? Oh, that's definitely a fish. Oh my God, that's going. Going to try and do this really quickly. Not going to mess about with putting him in the sack, in the sling and all that. Going to just quick press play. There we go. There we go. So, well, there you go. A run on the camera, and it wasn't a catfish. It really doesn't matter how big they are. Every one you catch from a place like this, they're so well earned. You think I had, I don't know, 4 odd catfish last night after that last mirror. So yeah, on Tuesday the 12th. Look at that. I'm not quite sure how close I can get in. Lovely. You know, it's probably 15, 16 pound. Oh. That sound was me nearly knocking my camera into the drink. Just when you thought things were going really well today, I'd go and drown 500 quid's worth of camera equipment. That would have been excellent. Right. The things we do. Tuesday the 12th of July, about 7 o'clock in the evening. Had about a 40-pound cat earlier on, which I unhooked in the water, which is starting to get me down a little bit. And then at 7 o'clock this evening, this one ripped off, and it's a right one. It's a bit of an old zoo creature, bit of an old warrior, bit of an old donkey, whatever you want to call it, but it's a nice one. For just over 43 pounds. Kicking. Not used to holding fish like this. Been a long time. There we go. You want to go now? Hey? Lovely. Here we go. Look at that. Looks like he put a saddle on it. It looks so much bigger. I'll follow this out.
great fight, great run, absolute melting run. Still never know if it's going to be a catfish. Got the boat started, jumped in the boat, it was still stripping line off of me when I got in the boat. I have to take it steady coming through the shallow ground, and I couldn't keep up with it. Got out there and it felt heavy and it wouldn't leave the bottom. It cleared the weed, managed to clear the weed, but then it just wouldn't come off the bottom. And even then I thought this could be just a really big catfish. And then I saw this bit of bronzy brown in the depths, and I thought, oh, this is a big fish. It looked huge in the water, and if I was to be totally honest, when I got it in the landing net, first of all, I could think it was going to go 50, but such a large frame on it, but no massive width, it's all in the shoulders. But I'm not complaining, that is a result. So yeah, just walked all the way here, gassing away, and I've left my sling out there. So yeah. It's Wednesday the 13th of July, it's about 7:45, half 7, 7:45 in the morning. Big full moon last night, and we all know what happens on a big full moon, big commons. Well, I've got big commons, but we've had a hat trick of commons. I had 4 fish, I had 4 takes, 4 fish, 4 commons. There you go. And first fish came last night at about 2 o'clock in the morning. I had about 2.5 hours sleep, and here it is. It's the best of the bunch, but look at that. That is an absolute beast. Oh, it looked huge in the water. Again, I'm underestimating the size of my fish. Right, number 2 of the night. Just bang on 26 pounds. Okay, there's number 3 of the night. Absolutely beautiful fish. Lovely. Again, absolutely went crazy. Great scraps from these big wild commons. Oh, ow, 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 that's my finger. Yeah, fantastic. What a night that was. Just to recap, it's Wednesday the 13th of July. It's now about 9:30 in the morning. You can see that little photo session there. It was a bit crazy. I think I woke up sometime around sort of 2:15 to the first run with a first fish I videoed of a beautiful 32 pound common, just over. I got that in, and as I normally do, I put it in a retaining sling just to let it recover while I get me recording equipment and that together, camera, and got that done. And obviously, because I'd just been woken up in the early hours of the morning, decided to have a quick cup of coffee. Well, no sooner than I'd brewed the coffee, one of the next rods long goes. So I think it was the far left rod went for the 32 common, and then the far right rod went, and that was for the 26 pounds common. So I went out in the boat, got that one, landed that, come back, put that in a retaining sling, still determined to have my cup of coffee. Finished my cup of coffee, just about to come and sort doing the photographs and everything, and the third rod went out in the boat, landed that, and that was just an ounce shy of £29. Couldn't call it 29. Absolutely beautiful fish. Looked a lot bigger, but there we go. Not complaining. Landed that. Put that. Just kept that in the landing net because I hadn't even got it out of the landing net when the fourth rod went and went out in a boat and landed that, and it was a common of around, I would have said 20 to 22 pounds, sort of a very low 20. Just lifted it up in my second net, and there's no point bringing that one back as well, so I unhooked that in the water and let that one go. So 4 carp, 4 takes in a little over 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. Yeah, that was crazy, absolutely crazy. So got all the rods back out and just really lied there in the bed chair until the sun come up and started doing photography around sort of 7 o'clock this morning. So I'm not really an advocate of retaining fish, but yeah, what can you do? I didn't have much choice really. They were already retained for photography. So yeah, that's that. So the rods are all out. Again now, no other action, thankfully. You know, the amount of bait I'm using is it's quite obscene. I'm only using the 4 rods. I'm on my own this time, and to be fair, the distance we're going out, you know, 4 rods is more than enough. And even though, you know, I've got 4 rods sort of spaced between about 100 yards or so, you know, you wouldn't want any more to be weaving in and out between lines anyway. You know, it's no point having a snidey margin rod, not this time of year. So 4's enough out there. It really is. So yeah, there we go. Here's the boat. It's a bit of a nightmare at the minute. I've got everything in here I need. I've got my drill, I've got all my hard hook baits. There you go. And all sorts of others here. I've also been doing another one as well. I've done another batch similar to that, but I overdone the green lit mussel powder and the liquid, and it went to a sticky old mess. So I made a dough out of it. That's just green lit mussel powder and green lit mussel liquid, and I've wrapped them up with a nice wrap of that around it, a bit like I used to with these, but this has got like a good thick layer of this paste on it, and then just dusted it over with green lit mussel powder again, and they've gone off quite hard. And I tested one the other day in the margins, and that had dissolved totally in a couple of hours, just left the boilie underneath, and there's not really much left because this is sort of pretty much pure, totally water soluble, so it's just permeating the sand around the hook bait with that lovely green lit mussel. There's more hard hookers that I've done this time. These have shrunk a little bit. That's 24 and 20 mil. Incidentally, one of the commons, the £29 common, that was caught on 3 20 mils. They do swell up a bit. They're more like 22 mil. There's a freebie. See, that's more like what a 20 mil hook bait will go like. Look at that. They are absolutely packed full of goodness. So toilet seat, not because I get caught short out in a boat, just makes a great seat in this old yacht, in this old Tabiat. And all my bits here. I've even got a spare headlight. Well, this one isn't this was my main one, but it run out. That's just in case I'm out in a boat at night and the headlight goes, or I might knock it off my head, and I've got a spare. All my spare hook links out here. I've got everything I need. Spare bait. Normally tub of particle in here as well, but that needs topping up. So it's all here. And a nice brand new Mercury, covered in spotty mix. I didn't envisage it being this busy, to be fair. or hectic with not just carp, catfish. So and we're getting through some bait, so this is the next stage. There we go. So these are pre-soaked boilies. These were submerged in water yesterday, and then drain it out, put the lid on, and that just sort of softens them up a bit. It's a little bit hard, and then I've coated them in some of my liquid. Then we've got peanuts, maize, tiger nuts, hemp. God, almost doesn't need boiling, but it doesn't smell right when you don't boil it. Party blend and groats. So my job today, and obviously trout pellets at the end. I always put a couple of scoops of trout pellet in. You know, just absorbs all those lovely flavours in the from the particles. You know, you put a bucket out there and you've got a lot of sloppy water, so a couple of scoops of normal Screttins pellets, they're not particularly fishy, and they draw everything else in, and yeah, it just carries more of that goodness down on the bottom of the lake bed where you want it. Yeah, bream love it obviously, but you know, my theory is bring everything to the party. And in the beginning I can suffer, as I did, with a lot of catfish, but I haven't had any bream. But now the carp have finally come in, so you know, you just got to battle through it, keep your head down, keep going, and hopefully you'll get rewarded. And I think I am been rewarded now. That's me, a session angler. You know, I like to work on a swim, build it up. So yeah, so this lot's all got to be boiled now, and quickly getting through it. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll catch up with you guys later. So here we are, it's Wednesday 13th of July, and get lots of things that scupper our public lake fishing. Water skier there, and then that noisy bugger in the distance is a ski plane. And quite often, if the wind's blowing straight along, right to left across in front of me parallel to the shore, he comes right over my markers and does his practicing landing. So I'm going to stop droning on as usual about nothing in particular. Oh yeah, one other thing. One other thing. Yeah, the saga continues. You know, these trips are always tough, and you've always got to be a bit careful what you do. I'm here on my own if anything went wrong, and I don't think, I probably have done it once before on a trip, but not quite so severe. So for some reason I had a brand new rig caught up in my blankets. So I put these blankets down, it just helps keep things a little bit more civilised. And I had a brand new rig somehow snared up in it, Sailor 101 size 1, right in the corner of the foot, right down there. It was right in round the bend. On, you know, and you know, so it was like, oh, shit, what do I do for the first sort of 15 seconds? Thoughts crossed my mind, shall I go to the hospital for about, I think I thought that for about 3 seconds, and then after that it was, what could I use to get it out? Man's best friend, mole grips and hammers, brilliant. So got that bad boy around it, ripped it out, no problem at all, pretty painless. So there we go. Any of you boys, if you get a big hook stuck in you, mole grips are wicked. Forget that stupid line trick, especially if you're on your own. That worked a treat. So you got a nice bit of weight there as well. So there we go, something else just to keep me on my toes, excuse the pun, haha. On that note, I'm going to go and hopefully see you a bit later in the night. There we go, for a few non-fishermen that like to see what else I catch. These things are a menace. This one probably isn't 20 pounds, and he's probably got £2 of boilies in his belly, look. They're a nuisance, but there we go. Quite amusing at the same time. So yeah, after a very quiet day since early this morning, had an absolute screaming run just then. I had to hang up on Faye and thinking I was into a carp, but he fooled me this one. There we go. This is what else we catch apart from carp. Baby catfish. Say goodbye. They're £58. Bastard. Thursday there. Oh, whatever it is. Thursday the 14th of July. Third cat of the night. Had a drop run as well, which could have been anything. Yeah, back to cat bashing again now. Yeah, maybe my tactics ain't that good after all. Never mind. There we go. At least we've had a few anyway. Anyway, that's about all I've got to say for the night at the minute. It's about 6:30 in the morning. Lovely morning again. Going to be another hot one, I expect. Hopefully we'll report back a little bit later with something other than one of these little sods. It's 4 o'clock. Thursday, 14th of July. I think I said earlier on I had a fish of about a catfish of close to £60. And then I've just repositioned 2 rods. I've had a nightmare today again. These lakes are testing. So I had 1 rod out from earlier on from the 60, didn't put it out. Been having a little chat to my friend Wayne about baiting strategies, all the rest of it, how to avoid the catfish a little bit. Obviously going in big with a lot of bait has worked, you know. Wayne, I'm going to turn my bloody echo sound down for a minute because there's a bit of a wind out there at the minute. So I was starting to chat to Wayne and I thought, right, I haven't put in masses of bait in the last few days, but I've been baiting up quite tight to get a fish after that initial baiting up. I've sort of reduced it a bit. Still using quite a bit. You know, it's probably still, you know, half a kilo of boilies and, you know, a gallon and a half on each rod when I go out of spod, particle, pellet, whatever you want to call it. So I said, right, I'm going to start the swim now for the next 24 hours. Starting from now, this was this morning, I'm going to put the 2 rods out. I'm just going to literally say start the swim. I'm going to literally put 20 baits, 30 baits on each rod, and I'm going to fish them off the marks a little bit more. So the 2 left-hand rods, I put one right on the fair extremity of the left-hand baited up area, probably 10 yards off of it, and then the furthest left, I went another 30 yards down from there on with just 20 baits, and it was looking good out there. We've had a big old wind and it's been difficult getting it out there, so I've done the first one alright, and then I've done the second one, and no sooner than I come in, a speedboat come by a little bit close, and the line hadn't had a chance to sink, and you guessed it, lost a lot. Didn't lose too much braid this time, but you know, lost my rig. So come back, put a little bit more braid on, go back out there and do the same again. Rough area. I just put in another 10 baits, sort of just literally around the up bait, so I didn't want to go doubling what I just put in. Back in again, I thought great, like that, and the wind's really been getting up. We're talking like 2 foot waves, which is like massive compared to what we have had. And I thought, yeah, this is looking really good. It's really overcast, a thin cloud, and a big wind, and it looks bloody good for it. It really does. And sure enough, literally half an hour ago, I have an absolute screaming take to that far left hand rod, the one with just a few baits around it, right off the baited area. I thought,
yes, we've done it. And it was going well. It felt like it was probably a carp. And off I went out there. And anyway, I only got out there. Firstly, I lifted up the rod and I let it go a bit slack. And I got a fence line, a barbed wire fence line going in the lake about 30 yards. And the main line got caught in that. So I had a right palaver and doing that. And I could feel the fish taking line all at the same time. Done that. Get about another 150 yard out in the lake. Must be the only bloody tree stump out there. My braid gets caught on a tree stump as well. Big wind. I was going around and around, and eventually it pinged off. So I got it out of that and eventually got out to the fish. And this fish is well weeded by this time, and it took forever to get it out. And we're talking 2-3 foot waves. And eventually I freed it up, and then a big battle. And I'm thinking, you know, this still feels like a carp. A couple of minutes later, it's another catfish. Even bigger than the near 60 this morning. I'd have said this one, I don't know, 80 plus, 85, 90. I don't know. It was big, it was huge, and I unhooked it in the water. The hook was right there in the corner of the mouth, as they always are, and I just unhooked it in disgust and let it go. Lovely, amazing fish, but you know, it's sort of like really starting to test me a little bit now. So yeah, back out there again. Yeah, just managed to reposition a rig again. I forgot to take my bait bucket with me, so it's literally a single hook bait on its own. There you go, find that, cats. Just thought I'd touch base, have a bloody good rant at the camera, and yeah, maybe might feel a little bit better after it. No, I don't. Right, on that note, speak to you later. I'm landing the biggest catfish of the session. Well, catching it to the smallest. It's not even a bream. A bream would be quite nice. It's probably the smallest catfish I've ever caught. Friday, 15th of July. I've just had a screaming take. It was about 6:30, and I finally broke the curse of the catfish after, I think, sort of over 48 hours now, maybe, since that barrage of commons. And you know, I've just had catfish after catfish, some really big ones as well, up to sort of mid 80 at least. And yeah, so I went back to basics. I went back to plan A again. I've been you know, after that big influx of bait 6 days ago, I've been sort of scaling it down, and obviously it has been working, but then nothing but catfish. I left a day without putting any food in at all, and just a handful of boilers around each hook bait, and it just resulted in a catfish straight away. So I thought, sod it, I'm going to give this 3 more days here at least, and I'm going to stick in another big amount of bait and just sit on it for the weekend until Monday and just see what happens. So I went away to do a little bit of shopping this afternoon, got back about sort of 2 o'clock, proceeded to get all the rods back out. I took the 2 rods back on my banker mark, which has taken majority of my fish, and then I thought I'd bring 2 in a bit closer, one in about 6.5 foot, and then one just down the ledge in about 5.5 foot, so different lines, just to try something different. But you guessed it, it was the same rod that's taken pretty much every single fish. I cannot put my finger on it. I've got a rod next to it that has taken a couple of fish, but yeah, it's been the banker again, and I have got a beautiful fish here. It looks absolutely immense, but it's not much width across its shoulders. I can't call it 40, it's literally 39 and 14 ounces, something like that. I could have told you it was 50 pound, I think you'd believe me. It looks immense, but you know, it doesn't really matter about the size. This one, compared to that other old warrior, is an absolute peach of a fish. Fought like an absolute demon in a big wind out there. It looked good for a carp, and
I've been blessed with one finally. So here we go, going to try and lift it out of the water now. I've just got it sat in the water, in the sling, in the unhooking cradle, just to keep it cool and you know, not damage it. So yeah, here we go, we'll lift it up and show you guys. Yes. What a peach. So the other side. Yeah. Look at that. Beautiful. Mwah. Thank you, mister. I think this one is a mister. So, and release this now. So, you can come with me and watch this bad boy go. Excellent. All right. Bye bye. Look at that. Bye bye, boy. Good evening. It's Saturday the 16th of July, about 10 o'clock in the evening, and that's a week done on here. Pretty much to the hour, really. Yeah, well, what a first week I've had. I really can't complain. Things couldn't have gone any better, really. And obviously quite an eventful week as well in many ways, you know, with this big fire that's been happening, which is now only I think what, about 4 or 5 mile away, just the other side of another big lake, just pretty much shrouded in wood smoke from the burning forest fires over the last 3 to 4 days. And that scene over there has been a bit of a rare thing, because at times we've not been able to see any more than maybe 150 yards out in the lake, and all the forests behind us are all got this misty blueness to them as the smoke wafts its way through the trees. It's really been something else, quite surreal for somebody like me living in safe old England. So yeah, I've been speaking to a friend about it, and you know, I can't remember what he said now, something like 8,000 hectares have been burnt down around the area. Luckily nobody's lost their life, so that's good. You know, otherwise it sort of bring all in perspective a bit. Me sat here just fishing and enjoying myself, and you know, it's going to be bad enough for a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of people have lost an awful lot. So you know, fingers crossed they can recover quickly and rebuild. You know, that's all you can do, isn't it? So yeah, there we go. So on to the fishing. It's been a very quiet day since yesterday evening when I had that amazing carp. That's been it. Nothing else carp wise. It was a quiet night last night. It's the best sleep I've had since entering France on July the 4th. Last small catfish about midnight, and then not long after that I went to sleep, maybe about 12:30, and didn't wake up until 9:30 this morning. How about that? Go figure. It was like the lake was dead, no catfish and nothing. And it's been quiet all day, and then this afternoon I had a couple of small cats and had a drop run. And then I decided I was going to go out there, rebait, put some more bait out there, and while I was at it, just check the bait. So I did replace a couple of them, and then reposition them, pop them, put them back and come back. No sooner than I'd done that, I had a run on one of the fire rods, a small cat of around 15 pounds, and then barely got back out of the boat and tightened the line on that one, and just about to walk up the bank, and one of the closer margin rods, one of the new spots, went off, and that was a cat of about 30 pounds. bit frustrating. All got a bit quiet again now though, and we're just left with a really nice evening on this wonderful lake, you know, where we can actually see the view across to the other side. It's something else. It's a truly spectacular lake, and yeah, definitely will be back. Good morning. Sunday the 17th of July, it's about 10:30 in the morning, and a pretty quiet night again, to be fair. Got woke up once about 2 o'clock in the morning by a good run to one of the 2 long range rods that are left out. It's not a rod that's produced a lot. I think it's produced 2 fish, and it was a yellow snowman with a 30mm bottom bait on it, and I left it about 30 yards off the main baited area. I thought I'd just leave it out there, see if that sort of eliminates catfish, and maybe I might get a carp on it. It wasn't to be, about a 30-pound catfish, so that little plan was scuppered. So regardless, I will be packing up tomorrow. I'll be staying a night with a friend and having a few drinks and just a night off, and then I'll be heading south probably on a Tuesday morning. So yeah, nice to have a couple of days off really. A little bit of a nightmare this morning. What you call up a little bit, and luckily enough managed to get myself out of it. So went to the van this morning to unlock the van, and the van wouldn't unlock, and I'm thinking, shit, that's not very good. And I weren't sure if it was actually the van, the battery that was flat. First of all, when I first put the key in, it said malfunction, steering malfunction. Well, what the hell's that all about? Controls wouldn't work, the key fob wouldn't work, sorry, anything like that. I'm thinking, shit, you know, what am I going to do? And as it turns out, screwed up again. I haven't got breakdown cover on this new van, you know, because it's a new van maybe. And totally slipped my mind to do it before I went away with the 1,000 other jobs that I had to do before I come. So I'm sat there thinking, right, what am I going to do? I can't get in the back, I can't get my jump leads. I've got jump leads permanently hot wired to my battery under the seat, but obviously I can't get to them, and I can't find anything online about how to unlock your van from the back when your battery's dead, you know, because it's all keyless. On the old Transit, you used to be able to do 2 sort of clicks to the left with the key and manually open it that way. Doesn't seem to be the case with these new Transits. Yeah, luckily I had 1 battery in the bivvy for charging my phone, so I managed to luckily I had my tool bag with me in the back. And so you need to take that plate out, disconnect the battery from there on. I put the marine battery in there, and sure enough we had power to the van. So that meant then I could also unlock the back, rewire my hot wired jump leads, and put the marine battery on that and start the van. So, you know, that was like problem averted. That could have been a nightmare because I've got no cover, but I don't think that'd have been, and it's Sunday and it didn't seem like I could get any, so I'd have been stuck here till tomorrow. But yeah, so there we go, we managed to sort it out. As it was, flat battery. I thought it probably was, and the reason for that was I was running my angle off a battery. This was also connected to the battery to charge it up when this jump leads was connected to that battery just to charge that battery up when I went shopping, and of course I forgot to take it off. This was also wired to the battery, this, just to boost this up overnight, because we haven't had much sun because of the clouds, so the solar wasn't working. Of course this has carried on, this little unit here, my EcoFlow has carried on draining that battery and drain that battery, so that was what flattened the van. So there we go, slight cock up on my part. Like I say, problem averted, and we're back in action. So just leave the van running for half an hour, and then I'll, you know, test it then, so we should be alright. And breathe. Never ends, this game, never ends. So on that note, I'm gonna just sort my shit out a little bit, have some breakfast, and yeah, just get the brolly up for some shade in a bit, and tidy up the camp a little bit, maybe tie a few rigs, and yeah, just enjoy probably my last day on here, I think. So yeah, there we go. On that note, say cheerio and catch you guys later. Yeah, it's been another quiet day. It's been a lovely wind, but the trouble is it's changed total direction. It looks like it's sort of coming from the south, and it's been pretty strong at times, but you know, this was like this yesterday, and I think that's carried the fish with it. In the last 4 days or so, I've had 2 fish. I think a small common and that lovely bang on 40-pound mirror from a couple of nights ago, I think. But it's time to move on. I've got lots and lots of other lakes that I really want to discover. In the 3 years through lockdown and COVID and all the rest of it, I've not been fishing, and so I've got a bit of catching up to do. You know, it's an adventure. It's not just about, I don't want to just sit on one place for weeks on end. So it's nice to move on to another lake with a bit of renewed confidence. So just a quickie, it's Tuesday the 19th of July, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Had a nice night off last night, and spent it drinking rum with a very good friend. And yeah, so now we've got the van loaded just about overnight now. You know, we're going for something quite different now, from tidal rivers to vast inland seas, to something just a little bit more intimate. We've had a carp already over all that place. Not quite what I was hoping for, but it's a carp, I suppose. So here we go. Lovely little pristine carp. It's all kicking off. So I just landed one, and the other one's screaming off now. So it might go £10, but it's a mirror, not a common. God, didn't it ever scream? There you go. Yeah, I had enough of this now. I need to go and find an hard water.